Hi, girls. How are you doing?
Oh, it's so cool to see, like three of us like in one place because, technically Alba is still in the same team with me, but
I'm in the
Josefine
limbo
is
right
now
now.
yeah. So, yeah, you two are leaving me, so I feel a bit sad. No, I'm kidding. I feel sad, yes, but I don't want to sound mean.
No, it's some internal changes at the company that we work, but we will keep running the stream, right? So we have to see each other at least once a month.
Indeed.
So
yeah.
That's good.
Or a good excuse to gather and catch up and combine,
Indeed.
do the live streaming. Yeah.
For sure. Thanks everybody for joining. So excited for this episode. We have two amazing guests. We have an amazing topic. So what could possibly go wrong? I didn't.
Let's see.
I didn't want to jinx it. No, but we're super happy so many people could join us live. If you are here for the first time, welcome. If you're here because you've been here before, welcome back. Everybody's welcome. And that's pretty much it. We'll have a chat with our amazing guests about all things CSS for roughly an hour. And if you at any point have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We're super happy to answer anything. This is meant to be interactive, right? Did I forget anything?
No, but maybe it's also gonna be nice to mention about the GirlCode, because that's the organization we collaborate together to host this nice monthly live streaming. So hey, they're here. I mean, I'm quite sure it's James behind the scene. He's organizing the GirlCode in UK, and that's an organization for empowering women, non-binary people, and anyone actually literally who want to join into tech and start their career in this industry. So there are a bunch of, let's say, the articles that you can read about when it comes to building up your career as a developer, and also you can find the ambassadors like us. So so that's why we decided to collaborate with them, and that's what and that's why you see the name in our live streaming
Indeed.
title. So yeah.
But even if you're not a girl or if you're not coding, you're also welcome, right? So
yeah. We talk about sometimes technical too, but we also talk about work-life balance. In fact, the previous episode, which I also quickly watched because last time I couldn't join it, was also talking about work-life balance. So yeah, it's not just about the technical stuff, but also sometimes included.
Yeah. Today is really technical. Well, technical or stylish?
Stylish. I like that.
From the little sneak preview we just saw, I feel like our heads are going to be blown off. But
Indeed. We don't want to make any spoilers.
No, better to let our guests speak about. So maybe no further waiting, we can invite them.
Let's do that.
So,
let's bring them on.
Hey, hi Thomas, hi Carmen.
Hey Thomas, hey Carmen.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome to the streaming. Yeah, thanks for joining. So maybe to get started quickly, do you want to introduce about yourself very quickly? So I would say probably from Thomas. You want to start?
Sure, I can start. I'm Thomas. I have been working at Storyblok for almost 3 years as a front-end developer. I've been a front-end developer since 2015, I think, just about. And I've always been actually really excited about CSS. So that's actually how I got into front-end development. I always say that I'm the front of the front end because I only started learning JavaScript 3 years into being a front-end developer, and I didn't like it. But now I'm a little bit better with all those other things, but CSS is still my passion. So thanks for having me. Hi, guys.
Nice. Do you want to go next, Carmen?
I think so, because I'm the only one. It's okay. Yeah,
Sure.
I'm Carmen Ansio. I'm based in Barcelona, and I work as a freelancer with a hybrid role between design and development. So Google calls it like UX engineer. So if Google says, probably it's okay. So yeah, I work as a UX engineer. So I love to mix design with code and also animations and SVGs. So you're going to find that on the next examples that we are going to have on this stylish episode.
That's amazing.
Very neat.
Yeah. If it works for Google, it works for all of us, right? It sounds
Yeah,
really
that's
fancy.
it. So I'm not even an engineer, but Google says so. It's okay.
Now you
Wait,
are.
you are. At least the work you do is an engineering thing.
Well, okay.
That's amazing. Yeah. So if you haven't guessed already, it's all about CSS today and about making things look really pretty and maybe make them move around. We'll see. Interactivity, all that flashy stuff. And we got Thomas and Carmen to answer all your burning questions, maybe discuss what's new in CSS in the whole world of it. I think there's a lot of like exciting new stuff coming as well. And also what you like and maybe what's bothering you a little bit of those changes. So we're super curious. And if you have any questions regarding that, feel free to drop them in the chat. So you already mentioned that you have a lot of things prepared, and I personally, it's itching me. Can you just share like one thing that we can look at maybe so we can get started?
Oh, yes. I'm going to share my screen. So I'm going to start with this place that if anyone knows it, this is Codepen. It's like a platform where I usually work to create small pieces of code, like snippets. You can follow me also, okay? If you want to see all this crazy stuff I usually make. As I said, my background is like design and development mix, and I love to create that funny and crazy examples, all related to animation. So probably if you have any questions about it. So every kind of example I made, it's like related to video games. As you can see, it's like Super Mario, Zelda. Probably this is one of my favorites, like this effect you can create in a very, very easy way.
Whoa.
So, and
That's
also
so cool.
I would like to talk about all the new stuff around the web animation API and all that thing, because of in 3 months I will stay at Amsterdam with a presentation about this kind of examples. So
In
if you
CSS, they
yes, if you
must
want
know
to,
about it.
yeah.
Came here.
So it will be awesome. And yeah, if you have some question related to this stuff, or you want to start watching a lot of examples like this one, it's super cool because of, do you know about the variable font? Like fonts with different axes and weights, all that family in only one file. So you can create this kind of examples only with the animating the axis. And also you have this kind of attribute to change the font palette, where you can change between the palettes that the font has. And yeah, it's super easy. I mean, I love to speak with people and show these examples because of it's really very easy to create. And I think almost all the people think that is like super difficult, and no, it's easy. I mean, you can do it with 2 lines of code, and that's it. So
that's just crazy. I had no idea.
Yeah, because the idea is for you it feels easy because you know how to think about an animation. But for me as a front-end developer, having the idea of the animation is completely wrong. It's I don't know what to do. It's like mentally the design doesn't exist. So if you give me the design, probably I can make it, but not the other way around. Like having the idea for me is impossible. What I see here is like, no, I will never imagine that.
Okay, usually it starts with crazy. For example, yesterday I was trying to create some kind of transition, and also I think I shared on my on Twitter. So look at that. It's like only lorem ipsum. This is a heading one. Okay, so what I want to do is like when I create this scroll, and that's it. Only need the animation timeline scroll to recreate this. Only this one. Okay. So you can control the scroll with this only this line of a CSS. So probably it will start with this kind of trying to create this example, like, okay, I have this text and I want to rotate. And now I want to create this example with a scroll. And it's like an iterative way to create. I mean, I don't started with, okay, I'm going to create this, this character that is flying and then da, 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 da. No, it's like I started with a little bit of code with a little bit of one example, and then it's like you can create more difficult stuff and this because of if you are going to try to understand animation, probably you want to start it with this example that is like this one. It's like the most typical example. It's an animation with CSS keyframes. We also have the option to create this effect with a transition. But yes, you can create the difficult example as you want. I mean, you can take this trick like this line. Do you know where it is? This attribute? It's like you can pass this element. Web is okay, but you have this data text is potato. Okay, if I put this data potato, it also works. Okay, so it's not about the name. It's like it's about the data attribute, data, and then wherever you want. And this probably will. This animation it's not going to work as we expect if I change the value of this data potato. If I put potato, okay, and I okay, so potato. Okay, so that's a trick. That's it.
So fake.
Yes, it's all about faking things. That's a trick about all the animations. It's like with a little bit of code that it's super easy to create. You can find ways to make this stuff like magic, and it's not magic. It's like tricky way. So yes,
it's amazing.
That's it. Potato.
I like that. I like the variable.
Yeah, I also put like Easter eggs, like this this custom property, like it's vodka. Why is vodka? Because it's a absolute position. Sorry. Yeah. No.
Really random.
It's like a treasure hunt.
Okay, and also if you want to create some hover animation, like in a button, it's like you can create the easy way or also the creative way, like only with this before and after pseudo elements. And okay, you have like you can create this example. Like, yeah, it's easy to do. Trust me, it's easy. Yeah. The only thing that I have like is like custom properties, and that's it. So, and also the example about this one, it's only you are changing the perspective on hover. It's only the perspective. It's like transform. That's it. And so you can do all this. There's a little bit of JavaScript. Sorry. Okay. But you can do almost everything without JavaScript. So
as much as if you know like more numbers of, let's say, the functions, I would guess, then you can actually load very less JS, right? So yes. It's gonna be like for better performance as well. That's nice.
Yes,
and
there
it's
is
super
like
cool.
new tools for UI animations, but also it's about Chrome, because Chrome has provided like new tools that will help us to make user interfaces better and also much fun. And the idea is simple, but it's important to make interfaces that are not only useful but also easy to use and interesting for the users. So now we can control the scroll without JavaScript, for example.
I love that. It still seems to me like, like somebody's doing a backflip and they're like, oh no, it's really easy. This is
yeah. I feel that way too. Yeah.
That's the process. It's really easy.
No. Where it is?
Where it is.
It's this one. Look at this one. You can create that walking or running character with a scroll position.
And there is multiple images, or you are controlling the SVG?
This is a WebP format that is like.
So one is that way. One. Okay, it's a.
Do you know where it is? A Sprite? Sprite, not the
like
Sprite.
Not the drink.
Not that one. Okay.
Not the drink.
We are making ads in this stream, or
sorry. No, it's a Sprite. Okay, so it's like kind of stop motion that you can control these steps with the scroll. So you can change the position of this sprite. In this case, amazing. I mean, you can do that without a sprite if you don't want it. So you can use, for example,
Red Bull.
Yeah. No, but look at that. You can create this effect with the scroll also. And here there is no sprite. Okay. So this property, it's only supported on Chrome. I mean, it's not on all the major browsers. So this is the handicap right now, because of there is like the view transitions API and also the scroll-driven animations. I think that Bramus creates a web with all that examples and also with polyfiles for browsers that not supported this kind of features. So if you...
Yeah, actually, you are answering one of the questions that we have in the chat, because someone was asking, how do you deal with cross-browser support? And of course, I guess that all the Codepens that you are showing us are not meant to be in a website, I guess. That's why you can explore all the...
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Also, sometimes I try to ask things about my examples to ChatGPT, and it's like, sorry, but it's kind of stuff, it's not supported from the last date of updates. It's like, okay, I'm not able to ask for help to ChatGPT because of all these features. There's no support for. So you can use it on the regular browser. I mean, all that examples is trying to put the CSS to the edge. It's like, can I afford this thing that I can do with JavaScript, but without JavaScript? I love to use GSAP and a lot of JavaScript libraries, but I want to try these examples only with CSS. And that's what I'm trying to do. But yes, this is not support in every browser, so you can handle with this today. I mean, I hope soon we are able to use all these kind of features around scroll-driven animations and also the view transitions API.
Yeah, that would be.
Carmen, are you able to? There's the new like scroll snap that I think Adam Argyle also does a lot of presentations on that and stuff. I was just thinking with the Zelda Sprite, would you be able to use scroll snap to have the scroll snap to where he's finished walking every time, like in between like certain frames of the animation?
I think so, but I only use scroll snap to create like carousels and to create transitions between images. So I think that
Right.
if you can handle the container of this image, you will be able to create that the same effect, because of in my example is like changing the position of this particular sprite. But I think that if you can control also the container, you will be able to recreate this example with a scroll snap.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I've also only seen the example of like,
and also
carousels
Adam
like that,
and
but-
Bramus and also Jay, they create like awesome examples about that. This web, scroll different animations.style, if is from Bramus. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce.
Me neither. So
Yeah, Bramus. It's I think he's from Belgium, so I don't know how to pronounce. It's Bramus. I don't know, but there is like lots of examples, and also the comparative between JavaScript, the way that you can handle with JavaScript, and also only with CSS version. And I think have one about this one. I think is probably what you are. Yes, this one. Enable scroll snapping.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can active this feature, and then, well, you can change a lot of this web is awesome because of you have a bunch of examples. This one I like this one because of you have a main container, and when you scroll down the page, this section, the car section, is sticky, and then the this lorem ipsum section, it's like to push. So
interesting.
yeah, Bramus have lots of examples, and Jay also. Yeah, and people, I think that people thinks about the same as Yoshi said, like it's okay, it's like a backflip with fire on the wheels, and but no, it's easy to create this example. So
definitely very impressive. Like a backflip with fire on your wheels.
yeah, kind of.
But it sounds like it's changing, or it has changed a lot quite recently, or maybe it has always been evolving really quickly. I don't know. So has it gotten, like Thomas or Carmen, you can both answer, has it gotten easier, or is it just a different way to do it? Do you know what I mean? Like, it feels like there's so much new flashy stuff coming. Mm-hmm. Is it easier now than it was 3 years ago?
There are a lot of things. I mean, I guess if I answer first, Carmen, you probably, just because of your examples, you've had more experiences hands-on with a lot of these examples, but there's just tons that has been happening in the CSS world. If you're looking at even just the cross-browser support has kind of pushed forward kind of a lot of the development inserts of the CSS specs, which has helped a lot. I feel like a lot of people who are afraid of CSS and don't like touching it, they're very focused on like, hey, I wanted to put something in a certain position of the screen, so I use floats, and then it doesn't work because something changed, and then you're just like, okay, I'm just going to leave this. Or if you Google the problem and you try to figure it out, and as soon as it works, you just kind of leave it the way it is forever. But I think the magic of CSS is that it also, especially in the last years, has really evolved in a lot of areas that. First of all, you don't have to do as many hacky things anymore. Even what you showed, Carmen, it's very programmatical in terms of having your variables and having your logic inside of the CSS, and I think that's just going to become more and more. And so, yeah, I think you've always been able to do interesting things with CSS, but it has become really much easier, I think, in a lot of areas to achieve the things that you want to do. I'm more experienced in just like doing basic layouting and things like that. And even that has become so much more intuitive, and you don't have to kind of always look for the hacks and everything. But like Carmen also said, like you start with a small idea. You start with like, okay, I want to solve this issue, or I want to kind of create this specific thing, and then you just working like Googling the different things that you can do and the new things that are coming. You kind of evolve with your projects that you do, and I think that's kind of the way that I also fell in love with CSS is, you know, I find one out and then I come across a new way of doing it, and I can constantly improve. And in the end, you have this crazy that you created. And it doesn't even mean that the CSS is becoming more complicated. It's you kind of understanding, oh wait, this whole thing that I'm doing, it's inside of a context, and the context is actually informing how my elements are interacting. And oh wow, I can actually add animations to this and do all these things. And I think kind of getting into that kind of mindset helps you like look for new creative ways of doing things. And CSS lets you do so many cool things, as we can obviously see. I think being afraid of CSS is because we like to focus on these like little minute like elements or attributes that we add and take out, without really trying to learn and understand the crazy ecosystem that CSS offers. But yeah.
Yeah,
Carmen, do you?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Arisa. We're too many people this time.
Exactly. I'm trying to stay quiet just because of this. It's like not so much.
Sorry. No, I agree with Thomas. I agree. Yeah, it's. I think it's more easy now to create some kind of effects instead of creating a lot of hacking. And also the last year, it was like an awesome year for CSS. A lot of features are full supported now in all major browsers. So it's a good well, it's for people that works with CSS. It's the perfect time to start learning CSS. And also, I saw something about Tailwind, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
of course.
I think Daniel asked about like, what do you think about the Tailwind CSS? So let's get started with this question.
But first, a little bit of context. In a Storyblok, every tutorial we have is made with Tailwind CSS, so take care of what you say.
That is so true. That is so true.
Carmen, you go ahead.
Okay. I don't hate Tailwind. So, first of all, I don't hate Tailwind. I don't like how Tailwind handled the CSS classes inside the HTML. It's like, I don't like all that. I don't know. I don't like the way Tailwind decides some kind of stuff that I am not able to decide because of Tailwind do it his way. So, and also all that functionality classes on, I don't like how Tailwind do. I don't know if I'm trying to explain, but I mean, Tailwind it's cool for people that are working on a place that you have not to scale or because of, I think if you want to scale with Tailwind, probably you will have problems or you will, I don't know. It's like if you don't have to custom your product, okay, go with Tailwind. If you have to custom your product and also scale and also maintain, it will be difficult to handle in the future.
So for folks, let's say, who want to manage a little bit more like in depth in their, let's say, like own way or better way they want to follow, then it might give you like restrictions, right? But for those of who need a little bit more, let's say, guide to structure, then maybe Tailwind CSS would be the perfect. Nice.
And also, yes, I use Tailwind in a project. So, yes.
Yeah, you tweet about it. Yeah, I saw it.
So, no, but it's okay. I don't. I mean, people always think that I hate Tailwind because of I love the standards, the CSS, and also how the browsers handle all of this. And I don't like Tailwind, but even I don't like any third party kind of things that have to make decisions without you. I mean, if you choose one product that has some kind of decisions and then you can change it, and you need to change these decisions, is where you will be in problems. That's all.
I have a say.
Okay.
Because I want to give a discussion here. And one thing that happens to me when I start with Tailwind, I already knew CSS. So I wasn't experimenting with CSS after using Tailwind. So the idea is that I knew how to create my styles, and then I migrated to Tailwind to create projects. And for me, it was actually a way of saving time, and it improves my performance that every time I created a project, instead of staying 1 month for defining the styles or whatever I need to define, I spend 1 week. So for me, it was actually a productivity boost. And what I realized is that every time a CSS feature was released, probably I will never know unless I was using Tailwind, because then I upgrade, I see the changelog, and I see why they upgrade, and I discover how the new grid layouts were working, how the container queries, I can work with them. So for me, it was actually a way of getting updates without being constantly looking for them in the CSS ecosystem. And for me, it actually helped me in the projects I was working on. But I understand your point that when you want to get creative or go to the limits to CSS, of course, Tailwind is not for that. Tailwind is for defining a structure in JavaScript that at the end will be reusable, and you can have environment variables in the root of your project in CSS. And then in Tailwind, just read that variables, so you can change the CSS roots in every project, and you have a dynamic, let's say, way of rendering Tailwind in your project. And at the end, if you want to customize something harder, like, for example, animations or whatever, I create my own plugins in JavaScript. So the idea is, when you work with Tailwind, at the end, you need to work in JavaScript to customize it at your own way. So that's the point. If you really like CSS, of course, JavaScript is not the way, It's like, I mean, kind of in the middle, because I agree with you, but I also agree with Tailwind. It's like, I'm in the middle.
But you started working with Tailwind when you know CSS. I mean,
Indeed.
You know how to work with CSS. There are a lot of people that are working with Tailwind without knowing anything about CSS.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yes. Also because of all that stuff that you are telling about the scalability, and also the people who didn't know how to work with CSS will probably fail and will probably create a monster.
Yeah, important. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's it. But as I said, I don't hate Tailwind. I think it's super cool. I think it's better than the others, like better than Bootstrap, better than Bulma, better than whatever you have on this ecosystem and environment of CSS frameworks. I think it's the most usable and the better of all of these kind of frameworks. But also, I mean, I'm like a CSS lover. I love standards. I love to create my stuff on my way, on my own. So I don't like this. But also, in some projects with clients, I used to work with Astro and also Tailwind. And I mean, if you have more than one product, it's super easy to change what you say, Alba. All the customization about colors with the tokens. If you work with Figma and also Token Studio and also with Astro and with Tailwind, I mean, it's like a cool workflow for all the people that involved, because of if there are people that didn't know how to handle with CSS, it's a time saver. And also, if there are frontends that don't know how to work with whatever, it's like a cool ecosystem for all the team. And I mean, but if I have to think about whatever stuff that I create with CSS, I don't like Tailwind, but it's for me. When I work in a project or with a team, yes, it's a time saver. But if there is a role position that knows about CSS, because of not, it will be a monster in a few months.
Indeed.
Yes, absolutely. So that's it. If you know about CSS architecture, also how to handle and work with variables and how to tokenize things and how to work with these own components, it will be very easy to work with Tailwind. But I don't know if everyone knows how to create his or her own plugin with JavaScript.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I see lots of pros and cons and different, very diverse opinions about it. And I also want to hear from you, Thomas, what you would like to say.
I've for the longest time been more of the opinion of more of a hatred toward Tailwind. I've mellowed out a little bit, I think, and realized that it has its place for sure. I also have to say that I haven't used it extensively or really in a project to really, get into the flow of how an actual workflow with Tailwind actually works. It is interesting because, like Carmen, also you said it's not really that scalable, and then someone else comes along and says, well, I use Tailwind because it is scalable. And I feel like both have the same arguments for opposite things. When I've had so many discussions with different developers that they have their opinion that it makes consistency throughout the app way better because everybody has to kind of follow the same rules that Tailwind provides. Whereas in my approach to CSS is much less a utility based. I'm going to add, this property to this element, but I try to actually approach my layouts with trying to understand, trying to kind of, I already in my head name my containers and my grids and my layouts in a way that to me it makes more sense to kind of name them with classes and then be able to see I guess these components as separate things that I can interact with, and for me it's easier with CSS. I'm always going to go for the pure CSS version, or at least use something like a SAS CSS SCSS, but I'm not going to condemn anybody for using Tailwind. I find that I'm much quicker and much more adaptable when I create my own CSS layouts and everything, apart from a framework like. But yeah, it really depends on kind of your ecosystem and the people that you work with. For example, in my team that I work with every day, we have very clearly defined rules about how we structure our CSS and how we create our styles, and we don't have that consistency problem because we're all on the same page, and that's not and we're able to kind of scale up and see kind of how can we understand how can we approach accessibility, which is becoming a big topic, Josefine. How can we kind of customize our things without having to go into JavaScript and all these things. I think CSS offers so many cool things, and when something new comes out, I'm always happy to read about what new things are coming out and try to integrate them at the best way possible. But yeah, I can't really give an opinion on it's a different approach. The one is utility classes based kind of approach, and the other one is more of a component based. I don't know if there's a name for it. Approach to CSS, and I guess if you prefer the one workflow over the other, then that's totally legitimate. But I'll always be in that other camp that is condemned by a lot of people.
It's always good to hear different perspectives, and like you mentioned, right, there's a time and a place for everything, and I guess it all has its justification, but these little fights that we have in our communities are also kind of entertaining.
But it's really cool because we are having a discussion about this also in the chat. They are having their own conversation.
I know.
A round table.
Yeah, someone is going to marry Tailwind.
Yeah.
I saw that, yeah.
But only when they're grown up. So that's very reasonable.
Yeah. I won't be invited to that wedding apparently, but yeah.
Me neither.
Oh boy. I just have like very wild thoughts of how a Tailwind wedding would look like. But anyway, so you mentioned a lot of like new things are coming up also related to accessibility, but is there maybe something that you're really excited about that is very new in I was going to say Tailwind in CSS?
You're asking me, right?
Yes, or both of you, but one after the other. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for the longest time, I was really looking forward to subgrid. So if you guys have used like the flex layouts and grid before, subgrid is a great kind of upgrade to grid layouting that allows you to actually have the elements of your grid conform to the definition that the parent grid actually is giving, which allows you to have kind of your cells look, for example, if you have like a card that you have 10 cards with, I don't know, an image and a heading and whatever else, like the typical kind of thing that you have on websites where you have like you're introducing your team or something like that. I always did that with Flex, purely Flex layouting, which which helped a lot compared to before Flex existed. But theoretically now you can actually create a grid and have each element of your grid conform to the same kind of layouting styles. It helps you kind of condense your CSS down to a little bit smaller styles or definitions, I guess, and keep things more consistent. And like one of the small things that subgrid allows you to do. I think container queries is something that is also very exciting. That's new to, or relatively new. All of these things have also been already like in the works for years and years. So, but they're becoming more and more universally usable in all of the browsers. Container queries allow you to change the content depending on the space that a certain container in your CSS actually has. So previously you'd also use much more like media queries based on your browser width. You'd kind of change, you'd have breakpoints that would then, depending on how wide your screen is, you'd have then different layouts. But with container queries, you're now able to look at specific elements on your page and have them kind of flow dynamically within the content, which is also super exciting. Yeah, I mean, there are tons of things. There's a lot of things, variables, and like you said, also accessibility, a lot of improvements. Yeah, I don't know. Those are just some of the examples. I think if anybody is interested, Googling interop, standing for interoperability, interop 2024. There's a dashboard that shows kind of all of the browsers. They're kind of working together to not have the whole thing of like, oh wait, but I can't use this because one browser doesn't support it. They're trying to kind of get on one level and have a lot of these new things be interoperable across browsers. So definitely check that out. It's also a very interesting thing just to see where CSS is going and kind of understand what the landscape will be also in the next years. Yeah, Carmen, what about you?
You said something about the color, and there is a new color syntax with color mix, a new function that you can also create and emulate basic relative colors with that function. And also you can use current color inside of this function. So I think it's super cool. You can handle a lot of problems about accessibility with contrast problems and that stuff, and you can control with this function. It's like color mix. And also if you want to stay update, Alba, about the new CSS updates and features, every year it's like a state of CSS, also a state of JavaScript. It's like where I can find some kind of features that probably I didn't know that they are on the ecosystem now, or they have support on browsers. So I think it's a good place to check it out, every new property of CSS. It's like you can feel it every year, and also you have like a punctuation, like 19% of all the new stuff you're in. So yeah, but also with the new media queries for give the user more control of his own settings. I mean, you can set in that you don't want to see animations on the web page, and also you can change that you don't want to see some kind of transparency on models or whatever component do you use it. So this kind of media query, it's super cool for give all the power of his own settings to the user. And it's also a good idea to start using it, like the reduce motion media query and the transparency one, and also there are other related to dark and light modes that you can control all that stuff with the root, and also the colors and the modes, and it's very easy to handle right now. So I think it's a good idea to start using it. So
also, like, just quickly, we wanted to ask, like, when it comes to when you face something, like if you want to know if you can use it or not, then there's a thing I use, like called literally can I use.com. So this is something, if you want to quickly check it about, like if it's valid for, like cross browsers, then you also can use that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I regularly also use that.
Yeah,
practically all the time, because I'm always waiting on the new things to be supported. So I'm like, can I finally use it? It should be called "Can I finally use it?"
It's probably the best. Yeah. This is a better name for that. Finally, can I use it? I like it. So
please, can I use?
Please. So there is another version of the "Can I use" for email. Can I email? Instead of can I use, it's caniemail.com. And there it's the same. It's like the same layout and also the same search. You can search for whatever property or thing of HTML and CSS, and you can check it out if the Apple email or Samsung email you can use on
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes.
We actually had, yesterday, we have a hackathon in Storyblok and we created an email template and actually we didn't know that. So that would be really cool indeed.
Yeah, and we had to host this live streaming 2 days before.
Yes, it's
That's
based on
huge for
the
anybody.
original. So yeah, I'm so
That's huge
sorry for
anybody
people
who
that
sorry.
have to. Yeah, no, I mean that I'm so sorry for people that have to work with email templates. Sorry.
You were so
Really?
serious, like really sorry.
Sorry. I mean, it's a difficult one. So
A moment of silence, please.
Yeah. Seriously.
I'm sorry. Oh wow.
yeah.
I
feel
spent
like
like
we
3 months
covered-
working on one email for some time, and it's horrible.
Wow.
I still have nightmares from that time. It was a few years ago, so it was probably even worse. But then, you know, like I thought I
Whoa.
figured it out, and then someone opens up the email in Outlook online instead of Outlook on Windows, and completely different again. And man, that's anyway. Sorry, you were going with something.
Not really, no. I was just going to say, we've already covered so much and time flies so fast, and we've literally almost reached the end, and there's still so much more that we could discuss, probably, that this almost calls for sometime in the future, a second episode. And I just wanted to say, if there's anything that people in the chat wanted to ask, any last questions that hopefully don't spark a wild debate again, that now would be the time to do so. And of course, if you have any, I don't want to call it last words, but if you have anything that you're super excited to share that we haven't gotten around yet, now would also be the time, because soon-ish we have to wrap things up. Carmen, do you have any like last things that you didn't get to show yet? Any flashy things that turn, or anything that you wanna share or talk about?
Okay, I have one example that I'm trying to reproduce and create the same effect, but only with CSS. And I don't know if I will be. I don't know if I will be able to create this effect, because of there are like a lot of things involved to work. But if you can check it out, it's like a scrolly telling. When you are when you go down, the info appears, and when you go up, this kind of path is drawing. And that's
One sec, Carmen. Just wanted to double check.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Now,
No,
okay, sorry. Okay.
It's the Salmorejo one.
Yes. Yes. I for a talk, for a presentation, I create a recipe of a very awesome soup from Andalusia. Okay. So then I made the same example, but like refactoring some parts, like this SVG parts, and create this example with the most iconic buildings from Barcelona. Okay, so this is a scrolly telling. It's like you give all the control of the scroll to the user. And I would love to create this example only with CSS. This example right now is with GSAP. It's a green sock animation platform. So I don't know if I will be able to achieve, but right now I'm working on it. And I would love to share some news on the CSS Day about this stuff. So wish me luck.
That's going to be so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm really excited to watch your talk. Anything you would like to share, Thomas? Anything? Shameless plug? Anything you're working on?
Nothing to plug. Yeah, I'm just jealous of Carmen. I wish I had the time to work on projects like that, or I just need to make time. I haven't done stuff like that in years. I like the last time that I did a project that I was proud of was with cool animations was when I was still in university, and that's kind of sad. So
that got
so
very
really cool.
dark very
You're
quickly.
inspiring me. So,
Cool.
well,
Cool.
no, but yeah, it's all good. I'm inspired now to actually sit down and do some more things with CSS.
Yes.
Nice.
Cool.
But just very quickly, because I know Thomas sometimes doesn't talk about like what he also like talks in public too. So he sometimes appears to talk about cool things. And I know that you have done in the past year. So yeah, I would highly recommend if he's gonna appear one of like the meetups, check it out his talks about CSS. And I heard like quite good feedbacks from the people who watched. So just wanted to follow you up.
Yeah, and I mean, the DevRel team has been trying for years to lure him in with their little lasso, right?
And we are all leaving, and he's not joining.
Now
I'm
all
the
of you
only
joined
one.
it. Yeah, exactly. All of you joined us product people.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it went the wrong direction.
We came to the dark side.
All right, so I guess it's almost the time, and yeah, time flies. We could probably like do another second streaming about it, but if anything you would like to, let's say, like share with us a future live streaming content, you can always, like come to us on Twitter. Most of all, our, like Twitter's DMs are open to it, so you can see all of our, usernames. So feel free to reach out to us, and yeah. You also can, like mention us like on tweet if you feel like to. So yeah, please feel free to do that. We're constantly looking forward to, like have future episodes guests. So yeah, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. And I think for the next episode, which is gonna be in the next month, I think the QR code should be ready. Our, let's say, like awesome colleague Sid is doing the magic behind the scene. And yes, there is a link that you can, like sign up for it.
Click.
Yes, and even the QR code too. Yes, thank you so much, Sid. This is much nicer. So you can just take a photo and then, like sign up for filling out a very few quick, like things, then you're, like set to go for the next streaming. Yes, someone scanned the QR code. I like that feature.
That's really cool.
That's so cool. The content hasn't yet announced yet, but yeah, if you request us, we might take it consideration. Who knows? You're gonna have maybe like the topics that you're looking for. So
yeah, I've seen a recommendation in the chat as well. Like somebody really wants a chat with Astro in Storyblok, and I feel like we can't avoid it any longer. So we should definitely take that into consideration.
Yes, definitely. It's gonna be on our to-do list for the future streaming. Yeah.
And also massive thank you to our guests. I feel like 1 hour was really, really not enough. You have so much knowledge and so much to share, and we're so grateful you got to join us. And all the discussion in the chat tells a story as well, right? So this was super valuable. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
So thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much.
Yes, we really enjoyed. All right, then with that, I think we can say goodbye, but till next time.
Yeah,
that's how I would like to say.
Have a really nice month, and stay calm and practice your CSS.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Until next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.